In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Today I bring to you a heart-wrenching yet profoundly enlightening true story. The details of this incident come from her own lips, and what she experienced is a vivid reminder of the darkness that lurks in jealousy, the curse of black magic, and the unmatched wisdom of being content with Allah's qadr, His divine plan. A silent grief buried in the heart, she began her story by explaining something curious. Although she had been married for 5 long years, she had never once returned to her native village after her wedding. It puzzled many people, including her close relatives, but no one pressed too hard for answers. Only later did she reveal the deeply unsettling reason behind her silence and absence. She said, "I had kept myself away from the village all these years. But eventually, a reason came that left me no choice. My younger sister's wedding was approaching, and it became absolutely necessary for me to attend. There had been many occasions before this when I had packed my bags, prepared my children, and almost made the journey. But my heart always held me back. Something just didn't sit right inside me, an unexplainable heaviness. Yet because of my sister's nikah, I forced myself to go." When she reached the village, she was greeted by a joyful atmosphere. The air was filled with the scent of celebration. Bright colors danced in every home, and laughter echoed across the fields. It was as though the entire village had come to life to witness this union. But the joy would soon give way to something darker, something haunting. The unexpected encounter. The very next morning, she stepped outside to meet the relatives and reconnect with the village she had once called home. As she walked along the dusty path, past familiar homes and old trees, a hand tugged at her shawl. Startled, she turned around. Standing before her was a woman barely recognizable, disheveled hair, torn clothes, dirt-covered skin. And then her breath caught. It was her. She was her childhood friend, her sole companion, Seema. My heart almost stopped. "Could this really be Seema?" she said, voice trembling. Once inseparable, once sisters in everything but blood, and now she stood before me like this? They had grown up together like 2 flowers on the same stem. Wherever one went, the other followed. They shared everything: food, secrets, dreams, tears. Her elder sister would often joke, "I think she's replaced me. You treat her more like a sister than me." Such was their bond. So tight, so pure, or so it seemed. From friends to co-sisters. As time passed and both of them blossomed into young women, their families began to speak of marriage, how wonderful it would be if both girls could marry into the same household. That way, even after marriage, they wouldn't have to be apart. Destiny, it seemed, had answered their wish. During one wedding function in the village, an older woman had approached them asking for their names. A few days later, she returned with a marriage proposal. Her 2 sons, one for each of the girls. Her elder son, who was educated and polished, was chosen for the narrator. Her younger son, simpler and unlettered, was chosen for Seema. Their families agreed, blessings were given, and their nikahs took place. They became not just best friends, but also co-sisters, a delicate bond requiring immense patience, especially in shared households. We used to laugh and say, "We're fulfilling our dream." We were friends first, then sisters-in-law. Life after marriage was, in her words, like a fairy tale. Both the women gave birth to baby boys within the first year. Her husband, being educated, got a job in the city and often encouraged her to move with him. But she hesitated. "I didn't want to leave Seema behind," she recalled. "We were neighbors, separated by a single wall in the same house, yet emotionally, we were still those childhood friends playing in the courtyard." Eventually, under family pressure and for her son's education, she moved to the city. Later, she gave birth to a daughter. Then another son. Her husband was thrilled and grateful. "You don't know what a precious gift you've given me," he told her, tears in his eyes. But in the village, something else was brewing. A shift in winds. Soon, her youngest son fell mysteriously ill. Constant crying, no comfort seemed to work. Doctors were visited, medicine prescribed, but his condition only worsened. He started turning blue. My healthy baby was slipping away from me, and I was helpless. Her husband was called. He rushed back, but by the time he arrived, it was too late. The baby had returned to Allah, wrapped in his mother's arms, just as Fajr Edhan was being called. She fell into a pit of grief so deep that she lay in bed for over 2 weeks, numb and broken. Sima took over everything, feeding the children, managing the house, comforting her. But soon after, another blow struck. Her mother passed away. And then her daughter Mahin fell gravely ill. It was as if calamity after calamity was chasing her. A shadow in the night. One night, unable to sleep and extremely thirsty, she forced her eyes open. Weak and exhausted, she noticed a strange figure outside her room. A shadow, hunched over, digging the soil. She was too sick to react and passed out. The next day she woke up late. Her daughter's fever still lingered, but the house was filled with strange tension. Suddenly, cries rang out. It was Sima screaming, holding her son, whose body was now twisted unnaturally and barely breathing. "What happened?" she asked, heart in her throat. Her brother-in-law explained. "He had gone to your room in the morning to play, but you were asleep. Then he went outside and collapsed." They rushed to get medical help, booked tickets to the city. She, despite her own fragile condition, helped prepare for the journey. But they never made it. That night, Sima's only child died. It was too much. For everyone. The atmosphere in the home grew heavy with silent grief. But something darker still was at play. The unveiling of truth. During the boy's funeral, Sima collapsed and began wailing hysterically. Her sanity seemed to unravel. Her husband, now devastated by the loss of his only child, invited the village's most respected religious figure, Shah Sahib, to offer some words of comfort. But when Shah Sahib arrived, he paused mid-speech, frowned deeply, and said something chilling. "I sense something wrong, something evil in this house." He began walking slowly as if being led by an unseen force. Then he stopped directly outside the narrator's room. Pointing at a particular spot on the ground, he asked her husband to dig. What they found left everyone in shock. Buried beneath the earth was a clay doll, wrapped in a piece of paper filled with strange symbols. On it was the name Mahin, scratched out. A black magic charm. It all clicked. The fever. The illness. The death. The shadow in the night. Then came the most harrowing moment of all. The confession. Shah Sahib turned to the brother-in-law and asked, "How is your wife?" "She is in terrible condition," he replied. "Bring her," Shah Sahib instructed. Sima was brought into the room, disheveled and trembling. But when she saw Shah Sahib, her body convulsed. She screamed, fell into seizure-like fits, and finally she confessed. "I did it. Yes, I did all of it," she cried. "I couldn't bear to see her have everything. We grew up together, married together, lived in the same home. Yet her life was perfect. Her husband, her children, their city life, it was everything I ever wanted." She explained how she had contacted a black magic practitioner after reading about him in a newspaper. How she sent letters, followed instructions, and buried the cursed charm. She laced the family's milk with sleeping pills, hoping they would remain asleep long enough for the magic to take effect. But Allah's plan was different. It was her own son, her only child, who walked over the soil first. And the curse struck him. Her screams echoed through the house. "I didn't know this would happen. I didn't want it to be like this." But it was too late. The damage had been done. Justice belongs to Allah alone. Shah Sahib, with a deep, calm voice, said, "When someone is not content with the qadr of Allah, their envy becomes a fire that consumes them from within. This is your punishment." The narrator stood silently, heartbroken beyond repair. Sima came to her, fell at her feet, and begged, "Please forgive me." But she replied, "You didn't just harm me. You tried to kill my children. What harm had those innocent souls ever done to you? Allah is just, I won't curse you, but I leave your matter to him." And then she left the village, never to return. Sima's husband divorced her. She lost her son, her marriage, and her mind. Today she roams the village in rags, talking to herself, haunted by her own actions. When asked why she had never visited the village in 5 years, the answer now made sense. It wasn't the place that haunted her, it was the memory. The curse of black magic. Dear viewers, black magic is real. It is one of the most dangerous, soul-destroying sins. It affects not only the victim, but the practitioner spiritually, emotionally, and often mentally. The Prophet Muhammad warned us about the severity of Sihr, magic, and it is considered among the major sins that can lead to disbelief if one justifies or relies on it. Those who commit or hire someone to perform magic are cast out from the mercy of Allah unless they repent sincerely. A spiritual shield against black magic. Today I want to share with you a powerful spiritual protection, a remedy from the Quran itself. Recite Surah at-Tariq, Surah 86, the 5th Surah in the 30th juz every evening after Maghrib for 30 minutes. Recite it as many times as possible in that half hour. Then sleep. If someone has done magic on you, inshallah, you may see it in a dream. If not, continue this practice daily. Also, perform all 5 daily prayers. Recite Durud Sharif in abundance. Read Ayat al-Kursi morning and night. Keep your home spiritually clean with adhkar and Quranic recitation. Inshallah, within days, the effects of magic will dissolve, and the one who performed it will face consequences they cannot escape, either in this world or the next. Final advice. Dear brothers and sisters, never be envious of another's blessings. What is meant for you will reach you, and what isn't, no matter how much you try, will never come your way. Do not destroy your akhirah by turning to darkness. Be pleased with Allah's decree. Seek His mercy, and always protect your heart from jealousy. May Allah protect us all from evil, from envy, from black magic, and guide us to the straight path. Ameen. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more inspiring Islamic content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, today we delve into a true story that echoes through the chambers of the heart, a narrative not just about pain and betrayal, but about the divine justice of Allah, the dangers of envy, and the chilling consequences of tampering with the unseen. This is not a tale for entertainment. It is a lesson wrapped in tragedy, a warning to those who walk the fine line between piety and jealousy, and a healing balm for those who have suffered at the hands of unseen evil. This story was shared with me by the woman who lived it. Her voice trembled as she recounted it. Her tears fell silently between words. What you will hear today is a story of trust shattered, of love turned bitter, and of black magic, the forbidden weapon of the desperate and misguided backfiring in a way only Allah can ordain. Chapter 1. A Bond Stronger Than Blood. The story begins many years ago in a peaceful village where simplicity reigned and every face was familiar. 2 girls inseparable since childhood grew up together. They were more than best friends. They were soul sisters. One of them was the narrator of this tale, and the other, whom we shall call Sima, was as close to her as her own shadow. They did everything together, ate together, studied together, cried and laughed under the same sky. People often joked that if one cried, the other would fall sick. That was how intense their bond was. Her elder sister used to tease, "I think Sima is more your sister than I am." And truly, they often wondered if Allah had created them from one soul. They had dreams, big, intertwined dreams. The biggest of them was that they would marry into the same family so they'd never be apart. And subhanallah, it seemed like Allah was answering that dua. Chapter 2. A Dream Marriage. One day, during a wedding in their extended family, a woman approached them and asked for their names. Days later, she returned with 2 proposals, one for each of them from the same household. The woman's elder son would marry our narrator. Her younger son would marry Sima. The village rejoiced. The girls couldn't believe it. Their dream had come true. They got married in a joint ceremony. They wore similar dresses. Their homes were built side by side. Their kitchens shared a wall. Their children played together in the same courtyard. It was like a fairy tale. Two best friends turned sisters-in-law. Years passed in happiness. They both became mothers. They laughed about their children's milestones. They cooked meals for each other. They cried on each other's shoulders. Life was content. But what they did not know was that life has seasons. And sometimes what feels like spring may just be a calm before the storm. Chapter 3. A Shift in Winds. The narrator's husband, being more educated and ambitious, received a job offer in the city. He wanted to move his family there for a better future. She was hesitant. The city was unknown. Her world was her village. More importantly, her world was Sima. But her husband gently insisted. "It's for the children," he said. "Let's give them the best." And so she agreed. The move was tough, but manageable. Her husband treated her well. Her children were growing. They visited the village occasionally. Each visit, Sima would greet her with warmth and gifts. They would talk all night, just like before. But over time, something changed. Subtle at first. She began to feel emotionally unstable. Quick to anger. Easily exhausted. Her youngest child, a healthy baby, started crying more than usual. His color faded. His body weakened. Doctors were puzzled. No diagnosis, just vague prescriptions. And then, one night, tragedy. Her baby passed away in her arms before Fajr. Chapter 4. Crushed by grief. The loss shattered her. She couldn't eat, speak, or even weep. It felt as if her soul had been buried with her child. But Sima was there every moment. She took care of her children. She cooked for her. She didn't speak much, but her presence was like an anchor. Then came another blow. Her mother passed away. Within weeks, two of the dearest people in her life had left her. Her strength was being tested. But she held on, turning to Allah, trying to see the wisdom. Just when she started healing, another storm approached. Her daughter Mahin fell ill. Constant fevers. Sleepless nights. Endless crying. Again, doctors offered little help. Again, Sima stayed by her side, giving her warm milk, reading du'as aloud. One night, thirsty and weary, she opened her eyes and looked toward the courtyard. She saw a figure bent over the soil digging. Her body froze. Before she could speak, darkness took over. Chapter 5. The Unveiling. The next day, her nephew collapsed. His body twisted in pain. They rushed to the hospital, but the child passed away before they could reach. He was Sima's only son. The grief was unbearable. The screams of a mother losing her child are not something the heart can forget. Sima fainted from crying. Her husband collapsed. The village fell silent. But in that silence, the narrator began to wonder. Could this be the evil eye, or something darker? An elder in the village, Shah Sahib, came to pay condolences. A man known not for theatrics, but for spiritual clarity. He stayed silent, then suddenly sniffed the air and said, "Something is not right here." He walked toward the courtyard right outside her room. "Dig here," he said. The soil was soft. They dug and unearthed horror. A clay doll, nails driven into its limbs, black threads coiled around it, a paper inscribed with strange symbols, and the name Mahin crossed out. Everyone gasped. Shah Sahib looked toward her and said, "Someone here buried this." He turned to her brother-in-law. "How is your wife?" he asked. "She's been sick. Please pray for her," he replied. Sima was called. She entered, frail and trembling. As soon as Shah Sahib saw her, his tone changed. He spoke firmly. "You know what you've done. Now speak." She broke. She screamed, "Why only me? Why her? Why not me? Why must I be the one left behind?" Chapter 6. The Truth. Sima confessed. She had done it all. She wrote letters to a black magician in a nearby district, sent money, gave names, requested destruction. Her jealousy consumed her. Her friend's husband was loving, educated, and successful. Hers was poor and distant. Her friend had 3 children. She had 1. Her friend was moving to a better life. She was stuck in the village. In her bitterness, she turned to black magic, the cursed path of the desperate. She mixed powders into milk. She buried dolls in soil. She recited incantations under the full moon. And all the while, she hugged her friend and said, "Don't worry. Allah is with us." But what she planned for others came back to her. Her own child fell into the trap meant for her friend. Her own son died by the very soil she poisoned. Allah's justice is precise. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Beware of injustice, for injustice will be darkness on the day of resurrection." Muslim, Chapter 7, Aftermath. Her husband divorced her. Her mental state deteriorated rapidly. She began wandering the streets, talking to shadows. The once beautiful Seema, admired by all, became a living cautionary tale. The narrator, heartbroken but resolute, left the village forever. When she returned 5 years later for her younger sister's wedding, she walked past the same streets, saw the same trees, heard the same wind. And then she saw Seema now reduced to rags, begging in the same village where her name once echoed with admiration. Her shawl was tugged. Their eyes met. There were no words, only silence. And in that silence, 100 lessons were whispered. Chapter 8, A Spiritual Wake-Up Call. Brothers and sisters, never underestimate the evil of jealousy, and never, ever entertain the temptation of black magic. It is kufr, a door to hellfire. Allah says in the Quran, "They followed what the devils gave out falsely against the power of Sulaiman. But Sulaiman did not disbelieve, but the devils disbelieved, teaching men magic." Surah Al-Baqarah 2-102. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Avoid the 7 destructive sins." Among them he mentioned practicing magic. Bukhari and Muslim. A cure for the afflicted. If you feel something strange, explain sadness, recurring illness, nightmares, loss of barakah, turn to Allah. A powerful spiritual remedy is this. Every day after Maghrib, recite Surah at-Tariq, Surah 86, for 30 minutes continuously. Not just once, but repeatedly for that half hour. Then blow over yourself and your family. Do this for at least 11 consecutive nights. Inshallah, you may see the source in a dream. Even if you don't, Allah will remove the harm. Also recite in Surah Al-Falaq and Surah An-Nas morning and evening, and Ayat al-Kursi after every Salah, and Durud Sharif in abundance, in names of Allah, Al-Hafiz, Al-Adil, Al-Qahar. Final words. Jealousy is a disease. It turns love into hatred. It blinds the soul. It can cause people to betray even those who once gave them everything. But always remember, Allah is just. What is meant for you will never go to another. And what isn't yours will never stay with you, no matter how many spells are cast. May Allah protect our hearts from envy, our homes from evil, and our lives from injustice. Ameen. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to stay updated with more inspiring Islamic content. Like, share, and comment to support our work and spread the message.